Hi, Tug Morkel speaking here. I'm going to continue reading from Tug's Trek, my memoir of moral injury, written 4 years ago, and I'm into chapter 8, continuing chapter 8, entitled The Rhodesian SAS. And I recall here another operation. This is in 1979. Shortly afterwards, we kitted up for another hit-and-run op into Mozambique. These quick in and out operations became the order of the day for us. Our military commanders believed that it was imperative to continue the fight against the Patriotic Front guerrillas in their host countries. The squadron was kept busy. It never seemed to stop. We flew over Ceres, that's our family farm in Shamva, Zimbabwe, Shamva, Rhodesia at the time. We flew over Ceres into Dakotas laden with paratroopers on a Sunday morning, and I could see the standout green wheat fields. The Morkels of Shamva were one of the biggest cereal producers in Rhodesia, be it barley for the breweries or wheat for bread. We flew over the Shamva Club where my great-grandfather had been a founding member 60 years previously. Despite the intensifying war, the community continued to play sport, and I looked down nostalgically at the tennis courts where there was a game in progress. The tennis players stopped to wave, and I felt a sense of emotional fulfillment. This was worth fighting for. We flew onwards across the border into Mozambique airspace, skirting Lake Cabora Bassa towards our objective, a Zanla training camp in the Tet province. The Rhodesians had hit this camp before, and the Air Force knew the remote area well. The modus operandi was to attack the camp and kill as many insurgents as possible and withdraw. We would then get choppered out to a refueling point on a flat-top plateau within Mozambique, known as the Train. The jump was routine, and I landed without fuss. We took defensive positions and set up a four-man stop group, but the call sign group next to us had a problem. One of the team was snagged in a tree. Expecting the shooting to start and not wishing to be an object of target practice, he had released himself from his harness and fallen to the ground like a rock and hurt his back. He was deemed ineffective and excluded from the advance. I was feeling bloodthirsty and wanted to be in the thick of the action, but nothing happened. We had a fine advantage point with open arcs of fire ready to wreak havoc, but our stop group commander shook his head. Don't get too excited, guys, there's nothing here. He held a small means A-76 VHF radio communicating with the aircraft overhead, who confirmed there was no sign of enemy activity on the ground. We later learned they had vacated the night before. After all the planning, the coordination between the Air Force and the SAS, the whole operation had been a lemon. It was not the first time we had acted on reliable intelligence and mounted an attack only to be met with a deserted camp. There was a leak somewhere within the structures of our high command. It seemed the only logical explanation. It was only many years later the identity of the guilty party became known, by which time we were powerless to do anything about it. Rhodesia continued to compete with South African provincial teams in cricket and rugby. We had a good rugby team at the time and boasted 3 Springboks. Our own Ian Robertson from Shamva played alongside David Smith and Ray Mort, who would also take to the field at the police grounds one afternoon. A fellow SAS soldier and a former national captain coached the team. My parents had come into Salisbury to watch the game and would spend the night at our Morkel flats in Avondale, where once my great-grandfather had farmed as a pioneer. We were about to go to the Curry Cup clash when I got a call to report to Cabrit immediately. I said goodbye and casually said without thought, "Bye, probably won't see you again." My mother was appalled and reprimanded me. Don't you ever say that to me again. She was clearly deeply upset at the prospect and had no inkling of how real the possibility was. These tough, blunt, and insensitive comments were a sign of cracks appearing in my mind. We went into Zambia to attack another camp and bring back weapons and ammunition for our own use. On this occasion, by this stage, General Walls had told the squadron commanders to do their own thing, which we did. Anything potentially politically sensitive enough to cause an international incident still needed COMOP's approval. So there you have it. Both up and down part of the Rhodesian Bush War. The nerves are beginning to flow nervously. So, Tug Morkel signing off, and we'll see you for the next bit of the chapter. Cheers.